Well, are you wanting to experience a better life that has to do with grace and love? That's my topic this week on my video. Thank you for joining me. I'm Deb Courtney. Welcome. We've been going over some videos that has to do with how to live that high quality of life, um, the intention that it takes to get you there, the changes that are usually required in order to live at a high quality of life. It's a it's a state that is above and beyond what the majority of this world lives like. And so it is very intentional. And today's topic has to do with grace and love. These are thoughts and concepts that I have used in my lifetime, in my life journey. I wanted to share them with you. It by no means are all of the principles that there are. I'm sure you have some that you have come across yourself that has worked for you. These have basically worked for me, and I want to share them with you and see if there's anything that you might can glean out of these videos that I've been sharing, and hopefully help you some. So this, like I said, this topic has to do with grace and love. And what I wrote about as far as grace and love comes from having more than enough and and to be able to give, receive, to attract, to grant and enjoy yourself and others to a degree that it all becomes flowing energy. And grace is saying yes to God. Love is saying yes to yourself and to others. Grace, favor. You know what? There's a saying that goes something like this: one day of favor is worth more than 1,000 days of labor. And I'd rather have grace, unmerited grace, any day, any day. So, when experiencing grace and love, a person is warm and friendly and easy with others, easy to get along. You're living effortlessly. You're rarely concerned about things. Doesn't mean that you're not interested in things, but and you're not conscious of things. You are, and it's not that you don't care about it. But if it's something that's beyond your control, and that can only a government can help an individual, then you say, okay, they have means of getting their needs met and flowing smoothly. And we all know that life does not flow smoothly, but what does flowing smoothly look like for you? What's your definition in your world, in your environment, in your journey? What does that look like? It's people versus result-oriented, gives a lot and without cost, and building a reserve of time, money, energy, and space. That is what when a person is experiencing grace and love, that's what they have. You have a reserve of energy, a reserve of time and money and space. And until you get there, until a person experiences grace and love, this person is generally critical, short, judgmental. You'll find them alone. You'll find them that that they're needy, demanding, they're loud, childish, small thinking, they're petty, and they're not over their own self yet. So I have some principles, some concepts that I had to use in my past life, work life and personal life, in order to, or that has to deal with grace and love. And I'm going to share them with you right now. One thing I found out is give more than you need. You have a reserve of everything. That, I want to tell you right now, that is such a great, awesome feeling when you can give more than you need to give, that you have a reserve established, and you have to be intentional in establishing it. The next thing is that you live very, very well as opposed to just managing. You have to find out how to do this. That's with all these topics that I'm talking about. If you don't have it, then you have to find out how you can get it done. You start acknowledging others rather than complimenting them. You put relationships ahead of results. You forgive and you have compassion as opposed to merely understanding. You come from acceptance and compassion towards others. You have the condition changes rather than forcing it to change, whatever the condition is. It just changes. You get the who of the person versus the what about the person or other people. You get the who of who they are. And sometimes when you dig down and you get that who of who they are, then you don't have you know where they're coming from and why they do what they do as far as that person, their personality, their strengths, their weaknesses. Once you learn that, then you can understand and live in the grace and love towards that individual. You know, there's a lot of people in this world, they're hard to get to know. They're hard to give grace and they're hard to give love to. Not every person is lovable. Not everybody will let you love them or love on them. I'm just talking about being good to them. I'm not talking about anything sexual in that shape, form, or fact. I'm just talking about being good to people. There was an example that I have to give. It's not been but a couple of years ago. A lady who was a street person. And when I would go to get me a cup of coffee, and she happened to be there on a bench downtown where I was at, I would pass her and I'd say, "Could I get you a cup of coffee?" And all she would do would shake her head no. She wouldn't say, "No, no, thank you. I appreciate it, but I'll pass." She just shook her head no. And I would say, "Okay." And I would go on and get my coffee. And I did this every time that I happened to be up there. I was at the theater. And when she happened to be there, she wasn't there every time, but when she happened to be there and I was going to get a coffee, I would stop and say, "Can I get you a coffee?" And it was always the same response. She'd shake her head no. So some people you can be good to. Sometimes you can be a lot of good things to people, but then you have some people that won't accept it. And it's just who they are. It's just their choice. So you have to respect that. And I do. So it's grace and love it's a great thing. It's living way up here. And so it is a mindset, and it's an intentional thing that you have to do, that you have to give out, because grace and love doesn't naturally fall in your lap and you automatically give grace and love. And I've had to give grace and love to people that's acted ugly toward me. And if you may have experienced this, but it's better to treat them with grace and love than any other way. Because, see, you still get to make a choice of giving grace and love. But if you don't give grace and love and you give something that's bad, that's your choice. But there may be consequences that you don't like that comes with acting bad or ugly towards an individual. And I don't want that. So go out and make it a great day. I hope this has encouraged you and that you can use these in your life. Like I said, there are probably others that you know of and have that you have implemented. That's wonderful. I will see you again next week with another great topic. Bye.